Imagine a feeling so settled, so deeply certain, that the need to strive, to prove, or even to hope simply melts away. What if the most powerful act of creation isn't doing more, but resting in a profound inner knowing? Tonight, we're diving into the sacred stillness where your entire reality finally aligns, not through struggle, but through absolute trust. Now we turn to the final flowering of manifestation, the restful power of knowing. There is a stillness beyond visualization, beyond assumption, beyond even the elevated self-concept. It is the sacred silence of one who no longer seeks, no longer questions, no longer hopes. It is the quiet confidence of one who knows. When you have truly assumed your fulfilled state, when you have embodied it fully and made it the cornerstone of your self-concept, you reach the most divine point of all, rest. This rest is not inactivity, it is not passivity, it is not waiting, it is trust so complete, so settled that nothing can shake it. This is the posture of creation. The one who rests in the knowing that it is done no longer needs to check the outer world. They no longer oscillate between belief and doubt. They have crossed the invisible threshold where reality has conformed within, and must therefore conform without. This is not a technique. It is a frequency. It is the frequency of the God Self, the I am in its purest form, the state of being without effort, of receiving without grasping. Let me tell you a truth rarely spoken. The greatest creators do not strain. They do not obsess. They do not try to force reality into shape. They rest. They allow. They trust. And this trust is not born of naivete. It is born of mastery. They have impressed the desire upon the subconscious so deeply, so naturally, that it is no longer a desire at all. It is simply fact. When you reach this state, you will no longer feel desire as craving. You will feel it as gratitude. You will feel it as inevitability. That is how you know you are alive. In this restful knowing, you do not rush. You do not hustle. You do not panic at delays. You understand that what is yours by assumption cannot be denied. You live in rhythm with your fulfilled state. The days unfold with ease. Synchronicities arise without effort. People respond differently, not because you asked them to, but because you changed your vibration. In rest, you find true power. And yet, this rest must be cultivated. It must be honored. The world around you will continue to tempt you into urgency, into doubt, into reaction. Resist the temptation. Do not react. Return to your knowing. This is the practice now. Not creating new imaginal acts, not constructing new affirmations, but remaining faithful to what you already know is true. The power is in the consistency. When you remain consistent in the inner state, the outer world bends to meet it. It is law.onu. It is not personal. It is principle. In the restful state, even when outer appearances suggest otherwise, you remain centered. You say within yourself, this too is working in my favor. You no longer judge circumstance. You no longer fear delays. You trust that all is serving the fulfillment of what you have already claimed. Now here is a paradox. The more you rest in knowing, the faster things shift. Why? Because you have stopped resisting. You have removed the tension, the friction, the noise. You have stepped into alignment. And alignment is the environment where miracles are normal. This is the great mystery. Rest is not the opposite of action. Rest is the highest form of aligned action. You may still move, work, speak, and decide, but all of it flows from a place of peace, not from the push of fear. So what does this look like? It looks like waking up without anxiety. It looks like letting go of deadlines. It looks like doing what you are inspired to do, not what you think you must do to make it happen. It looks like silence where there once was mental noise. It looks like faith without struggle. Rest is the atmosphere of the fulfilled state. And the more you dwell in it, the more you become untouchable by appearances. This is not denial of reality. It is allegiance to the higher reality, your consciousness. So when challenges arise, and they may. See them as nothing more than echoes of old assumption. Do not fight them, do not fear them, bless them, and return. Return to your knowing. You do not need to repeat what you have already claimed. You do not need to remake the imaginal scene. You do not need to reinforce the assumption. It is already impressed. What you need now is to honor it, to live as if it were already so, to rest. Rest is not escape, it is dominance. It is you declaring, I have already created, my work is done, my reality is now catching up. This is the final step. The step where nothing external can pull you back. The step where your vibration is so stable, so self-sustaining, that the world simply mirrors your peace. Others will notice. They will sense something different. They will be drawn to you, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. You are rest in motion. You are knowing embodied. Let this be your new way of life. No longer obsessed with outcomes. No longer driven by fear. No longer proving or pleading or pushing. You are the one who knows. And in this knowing, everything is added. Let the world catch up. Let the details sort themselves. Let the path reveal itself one step at a time. You are not missing anything. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are already in possession of it all. And your rest is the signal that tells the universe it is done. So rest deeply. Walk gently. Trust completely. You are not becoming. You are being. And that being is more than enough. That being is fulfillment made flesh. That being is divine. Remain there, and let all things unfold in perfect peace. Let us now illuminate the foundation beneath all fulfillment, your self-concept. For you cannot sustain any desire without becoming the version of yourself who naturally receives it. All that you call manifestation arises from this silent truth. You may ask, if I have assumed the wish fulfilled, why does it not last? Why do I fluctuate between knowing and doubting, between joy and worry? Because your self-concept has not yet caught up with your desire. To assume a state momentarily is a powerful beginning. But to live from it continually, you must revise the story you tell about yourself. You must no longer see yourself as the one who wants, but as the one who already is. This is the transformation of identity. You are not changing your world first. You are changing the one who walks through it. The person who lives in lack cannot receive abundance, even if it is all. The person who sees themselves as alone cannot hold love, even when it stands before them. The self-concept filters every experience. So, what is your self-concept now? Be honest. Are you still seeing yourself as the seeker? The one who almost has it? The one who is trying, learning, hoping? If so, you must now let go of that story. That version of you cannot cross into the promised land. Create a new story. Not of a fantasy, but a truth higher than any fact. I am already the person who lives the life I desire. Say it often. Feel it fully. Let it become the root of every thought and choice. This is not self-help. This is spiritual law. Everything you believe about yourself becomes flesh. Your assumptions about who you are form the structure of your life. They dictate your relationships, your finances, your health, your opportunities. Nothing escapes this. You do not receive what you want. You receive what you believe you are worthy of, what feels natural to you, what aligns with your self-image. So if there is one shift that will change everything, it is this. Shift who you are being. Be now the person who already has it. And if that feels unfamiliar, good. That is how you know you are evolving. Growth is not comfort. It is expansion. Now, let us make this real. Choose one desire you hold. Now ask, who must I be to live in the reality where this is normal? Not who must I become in time, but who must I be now? What thoughts would I think? What emotions would I entertain? What decisions would be obvious? You will find that this new self does not strive. It does not question whether it deserves. It does not compare. It does not seek external signs. It simply exists in a quiet certainty. That certainty is the fruit of a solid self-concept. Let it grow. Feed it not with effort, but with alignment. Each time you act in accordance with the new self, you reinforce the bridge between assumption and expression. You make the invisible real. This is not mental trickery. This is energetic congruence. You cannot live a different life with the same identity. So, let the old self dissolve. You owe it nothing. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your doubt. You are not even your former successes. You are what you choose to embody now. And the more you choose to embody the new self, the faster your world reflects it. But let me offer a warning born of love. Do not delay this work. Many wait for evidence before they change how they see themselves. They say, when I have the money, I will feel wealthy. When I meet the partner, I will feel loved. When the career arrives, I will feel successful. But they have reversed the law. The law is clear. Assume first, receive second. Your world is a mirror, not a motivate. So I ask again, who are you now? Speak it not from memory, but from vision. And if that vision feels fragile, nourish it with care. Use your imagination not to escape, but to install. Install a new blueprint, a new reference point. See yourself in moments of calm confidence, of gracious receiving, of effortless flow. The subconscious does not resist repetition. It welcomes it. So repeat the new story until it becomes the only story. Let your self-concept be rooted in abundance, in ease, in joy. And then let every action you take confirm that identity. This is not about acting as if. This is about acting from truth. You are not pretending. You are expressing what is real before the world catches up. And it will. In ways you cannot yet predict, your outer life will rearrange. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped contradicting it with your inner narrative. Let every moment become a rehearsal for the reality you have claimed. When you speak, speak as the fulfilled self. When you make decisions, make them as the fulfilled self. When you look in the mirror, see the fulfilled self. This is how the bridge is built, not through time, but through identity. You will know you have succeeded not by outer proof, but by inner peace. You will stop checking, measuring, hoping. You will simply live. And your living will be a vibration so consistent, so undeniable, that the world must comply. You are not here to chase. You are here to claim. And what you claim with conviction, you become. So become wisely. Let your self-concept be the throne from which all manifestations are decreed. Sit on it daily. Rule from it gently, protect it fiercely, and soon you're done. Life will speak in echoes of your silent decision. I am already. I am always. I am. Let us now enter the sacred chamber of knowing, the deepest chamber of all, embodiment. You see, once you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, once you have accepted that it is done, there remains one final step, to become it in every fiber of your being. This is the phase where many falter. They believe they have assumed the state, and yet they remain separate from it in action, in word, and most importantly, in identity. They wear the garment of fulfillment in imagination, but take it off when they rise from their chair. But true embodiment is seamless. It is not a mood you enter and exit. It is a new self-concept that you wear constantly, like your skin. This is not performance. This is presence. To embody your fulfilled state is to saturate your entire awareness with one fact. I am already what I see. Let this be your meditation. I am already. I am already. I am already. When you speak to others, let your words spring from this truth. When you make choices, let them be the choices of one who already has. When you walk into a room, let your energy declare what your lips never need to say. This is embodiment. It is not enough to visualize once a day and then live as though you are still waiting. That is not faith. That is division. That is delay. Embodiment means coherence. It means your thoughts, feelings, speech, and movement are all in agreement with your fulfilled state. And here lies the subtle power. When you fully embody a state, the world must conform to reflect it. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to manipulate or hustle or persuade. You simply be. Being is the root of all doing. Now let me ask you this. Who would you be if you truly believed that your desire was already yours? Not just in a dream, not just in theory, but here now, in this breath. How would you rise in the morning? What would you feel as you opened your eyes? What would you wear? Not because you need to impress, but because you are already the version of yourself who lives in that reality. What would you say no to? What would you say yes to? What boundaries would be natural? What decisions would feel obvious? This is the path of embodiment. It is not about changing your outer world. That is inevitable. It is about allowing your outer world to be reformed by the clarity and consistency of your inner identity. You are not creating a new life. You are stepping into the life that has always been available to you, the moment you decided to dwell in it fully. This is the eternal truth. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are, so become it. Not through strain, not through strategy, through surrender. Surrender to your chosen identity. And when old thoughts arise, and they will, for your mind is a creature of habit, simply notice them without judgment and return to your new center. You are not required to fight the old. You are required to remain faithful to the new. This is the gentle discipline of embodiment. Now here is a sacred practice I call automatic alignment. Each morning, before your feet touch the floor, ask yourself, who am I today, now that my desire is fulfilled? Let the answer come not from your intellect, but from your being. And then move from that identity. Choose clothes, actions, words, and thoughts that support that state. Let it be simple. Let it be natural. The more often you do this, the less it will feel like practice, and the more it will feel like homecoming. Because you are not becoming something new. You are remembering who you already are, and the world will mirror that remembrance back to you. Opportunities will shift. People will respond differently. New paths will open, not because you forced them, but because you finally matched their frequency. Understand this. The quantum field does not respond to your need. It responds to your state. And your state is the product of your self-concept, not your circumstances. So, expand your self-concept. See yourself as whole, complete, powerful, and already living your highest reality. Not tomorrow, not soon, not now. Walk through your world as that version of you, not with arrogance, but with assurance. And do not be swayed by appearances. If things still look the same, rejoice. They are the shadows of your past beliefs, already fading. Stay your chosen identity, and soon the light of your new state will dissolve. Every trace of the old, let your embodiment be your offering. Not to others, to life itself. Show life that you trust its laws, that you understand your role is not to control the outer, but to command the inner. You command by assuming. You command by feeling. You command by being. And as you continue in this embodiment, something miraculous begins to happen. Your desire becomes ordinary, familiar, natural, and that, my beloved friend, is the final sign of manifestation. When it no longer feels like something to reach for, but something you live from, it is done. Not because the world showed you proof, but because you no longer need proof. You are the proof. So I ask you now with complete sincerity, who will you be when you rise from this message? Will you return to the seeker, or will you step fully into the state of the one who has already found? The choice is always yours, and the law is always faithful. Live as the one you have decided to be. Not for a moment, not for a morning, forever, until there is no gap between your assumption and your expression. Until you no longer speak of manifestation because you are it. That is the secret. That is the power. That is the life eternal. Now let us take the final step into the mystery of the fulfilled state, the recognition that what you desire is not approaching, it is already here. In the eternal now, there is nothing to wait for, nothing to chase. There is only the acknowledgement of what is. You may ask, if it is already here, why do I not see it? Why do I not touch it? Hear it, live in it. Because, my dear friend, you are still looking for it outside of yourself. You are searching with your senses for what can only be confirmed by your inner conviction. Manifestation is not about acquiring, it is about awakening. Awakening to what? To the fact that you are already the person you have longed to become. You are already wealthy, already loved, already successful, not in the eyes of the world, but in the eternal truth of your consciousness. And consciousness is the only creative power. All you must do is accept it. This acceptance is not passive. It is an act of supreme authority. You declare within yourself, this is who I am, now and unlimited, and then you live in accordance with that declaration. You do not wait for proof. You are the proof. You walk, talk, breathe, think, and feel as the version of yourself who already has it all. And you do this not as a performance, not as a trick, but as a natural consequence of your knowing. This is the final leap. You have already heard, perhaps many times, that imagination creates reality. But have you yet allowed yourself to live as though that were true? Entirely true. Absolutely, irrevocably true. For if you had, you would no longer consult the outer world for validation. You would no longer waver when appearances contradict your assumption. You would remain unmoved because you would know the world is the echo, not the voice. You are the voice. Let me now give you a new practice, one of stillness and power. Each day, sit in silence. Not to visualize, not to plan, not to recite affirmations, but to feel the fact that it is done. Feel the presence of your desire as something already complete. Not arriving, not forming. Complete. Sit with that truth. Let it settle deep into your being, as a stone sinks to the bottom of a still lake. Let the ripples of that knowing radiate outward, silently reshaping your world. This is what it means to move mountains with faith. You do not move them by force. You move them by assuming that they have already been moved. This is not madness. It is mastery. Now, understand this. Your ability to remain faithful to your fulfilled state is the measure of your manifestation. Not how vividly you imagine, not how often you repeat affirmations, but how deeply you feel it is already true, regardless of conditions. And here is the subtle paradox. The less you look for evidence, the faster it arrives. The less you chase, the more you attract. Because the fulfilled state is not a seeker, it is a knower. A knower does not grasp, a knower rests. Can you rest in the truth that it is already done? Can you carry that stillness into every part of your day? Into your work, your conversations, your moments of solitude? Can you walk the earth as one who already is? If you can, then the law must fulfill your assumption. It must, for the law is no respecter of person. It is exact, impartial, and perfectly consistent. So I invite you now to drop all pretense of waiting. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for signs. Do not wait for the world to catch up to your assumption. Let your assumption be the only evidence you need. From this place, you will act different, not to make things happen, but because things have already happened. Your actions will flow from your being, not from your doubt. You will make decisions as the wealthy man, the loved woman, the successful creator, not because you are trying to become these things, but because you have already accepted them as your reality. The most powerful thing you can ever do is assume a new identity and live from it without compromise. This is the secret the world does not teach. They will tell you to earn your way to worthiness, to prove yourself, to struggle, to strive, to sacrifice. But I say to you, assume it now. Not arrogantly, not loudly, quietly, completely, because it is already yours. This is not about denial, it is about dominion. You are not pretending that your desire is fulfilled. You are claiming your divine right to shape reality from within. When you take your attention off the problem and place it fully on the solution already attained, you shift dimensions. You move from the realm of cause to the realm of effect, from lack to abundance, from fear to certainty. Everything changes, but not because the world changes first, because you changed first. When you grasp this, you will stop asking, when will it happen? That question will dissolve, for you will know it has happened. And so, my beloved listener, return to this truth again and again. You are not manifesting something in the future. You are revealing what already is. Let your breath slow. Let your shoulders relax. Let your mind quiet. And feel in this very moment the completeness of your fulfilled state. It does not require effort. It requires only acceptance. So accept it now, and let the world do what it must. Because your world is your mirror, and it will show you with mathematical precision what you have accepted as true. Accept wisely. Accept boldly. Accept with the quiet power of one who knows that everything desired is already theirs. For in this eternal now, all is already fulfilled. Let us now dive deeper into what may be the most essential realization of all. That your desires are not in some distant future, but exist now in a fulfilled state within the eternal present of your consciousness. You see, many misunderstand manifestation as the process of bringing something from the future into the now. But the truth is far more profound. There is no future. There is no past. All that exists is now. And in this now, all possibilities already are. When I speak of living from the end, I do not mean merely imagining what you want as a possibility. I mean stepping fully into the identity of the one who already is that which they seek to become. It is not wishful thinking. It is not hope. It is identification. To truly live in the state of the wish fulfilled, you must learn to feel from it rather than think of it. There is an infinite difference between the two. To think of your desires to place it at a distance. To feel from your desire is to stand upon it as the ground of your being. Now, what does this feel like? It feels like peace. Not excitement, not anticipation, but peace. When something is truly yours, when it is natural, you do not feel urgency or yearning. You feel the still joy of ownership. That is the vibration you must cultivate. I urge you to test this. Choose a desire, perhaps one you have struggled with. Tonight, before sleep, do not visualize it happening. Instead, feel what it would be like if it had already occurred. Dwell in the emotional tone of that reality, and then let go. Fall asleep as though it is done. If you persist in this, the world around you must conform. It is not personal effort that brings things to pass, but assumption maintained. There is no need to force outcomes. You simply remain in the fulfilled state, and reality follows suit. Why does this work? Because consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see, hear, touch, and experience is the outer echo of your inner state. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are not reacting to conditions. You are generating them by the quality of your being. The outer world is not the dark. Cause and unbeing, it is the result. So when you remain steadfast in the state of fulfillment, not dipping into doubt, not reverting to old patterns of need or waiting, you are setting the law in motion. And the law cannot fail. You may not see instant changes, but do not let that deceive you. As surely as the seed germinates in darkness before it breaks the surface, your assumption is already bearing fruit. It is in the invisible first, then it appears in time. But make no mistake, the moment you assume it with feeling, it is done. Now, let me share a technique, subtle yet powerful. I call it emotional calibration. Begin to notice throughout your day when your emotional state is no longer aligned with the state of the wish fulfilled. Do you feel anxious, needy, impatient. These are signs that you have slipped out of the state. Gently bring yourself back. You need not visualize every time. Just return to the feeling tone. Ask, what would I feel right now if everything I desire was already mine? Then breathe into that feeling. Train yourself to make this emotional state your new baseline. Just as a thermostat maintains the temperature of a room, your inner state will regulate the conditions of your life. And here's something even more extraordinary. As you maintain the state of the wish fulfilled, you will begin to forget how things used to be. This forgetting is not amnesia. It is a natural result of occupying a new state of being. Your past no longer fits. Your memories shift. Your world rearranges. This is how you know that change is real. Do not try to hold on to the old and the new simultaneously. You must release the story of how it has been in order to fully live the story of what now is. Let it go. This is not a denial of reality. It is an affirmation of the greater reality, the reality of consciousness, which shapes all outer form. Another key principle: do not seek confirmation in the outer world. The moment you do, you betray your assumption. Well, why? Why? Because you imply it is not yet true. This seeking is the enemy of fulfillment. Instead, rest in the knowing that because you have assumed it, it already is. The outer world will catch up in due time. Let it. To live in the fulfilled state is to walk through the world with inner stillness. You are not grasping, not convincing, not proving. You are being. This is the sacred art of manifestation. Understand, my friends, that your assumptions are not private. They radiate outward. Others respond not to your words, but to your state. Change your state, and you change your world. You need not inform others of your desires. They will be drawn into the drama you create within. They will unknowingly play their roles to fulfill your inner script. This is not manipulation. It is divine orchestration. And when you truly master this art, you will begin to live effortlessly. You will not chase anything. Everything required will find you. The bridge of incidents will unfold with perfect rhythm. You will marvel at the seeming coincidences, yet you will know, I created this, not through effort, but through being. So I say to you now, make the feeling of fulfillment your dwelling place. Return to it again and again until it becomes as natural as breath. Do not delay your joy. Feel it now. Do not wait for signs. Rest in the unseen. Do not strive. Assume and know with all your heart that what you desire is not coming. It is here, for in the eternal now, it is already